Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to our day of event for Virtual Tour to Cure. We have so much happening. I've been scrolling through social media. We've been watching you get out there, ride your bikes, run, walk, move. We've got virtual boxing later for a cause. We have so much happening, but I am thrilled to welcome you to this extra special session with one of our newer teams, Team MindsetSeed, who is bringing us an excellent session on the importance of movement, especially during COVID-19. And then we're going to go right into some yoga exercises followed by a brief cool down meditation. So I want to take a brief second to introduce our special guests. Today we have with us Samantha Richards. She's a student in kinesiology, a master's candidate at Cal State Fullerton. She's a fitness instructor, strength and conditioning coach, and she's a certified pain-free performance specialist. She is an absolutely incredible member of our community and has volunteered her time today to meet with An, the captain of Team Mindset Seed, to talk about the importance of movement as we are practicing social and physical distancing, staying home a little bit more frequently. So I'm going to jump off the screen and we are going to welcome An and Sam.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here today, especially to talk with Sam. We've had conversations before, but I've never really had to know you in the business. So, for the first question, I would love to involve your area of expertise.
As James said, I am a current candidate for a master's degree in kinesiology. My focuses are on motor behavior and biomechanics. So basically, what that means is motor behavior is how do we teach our body how to learn certain movements and control them throughout our daily life? And biomechanics being how do we actually put that into practice and movement in our musculoskeletal system? So, my main areas of expertise are on that kind of physical side of fitness, exercise, stuff like that. But my passions are in the education side of fitness, just helping people understand what their bodies can do, how to use physical activity and exercise to kind of foster connection within themselves, within their bodies, with others, using physical activity for mental health advocacy, and just for making fitness accessible and empowering to all. I'm a really big proponent that the ability to move in any capacity is a gift, and the ability to exercise and become stronger in your own body is a privilege, and we owe it to ourselves to treat our bodies with kindness and gratitude by moving it every day.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. Here in Mindset Seed, we cannot emphasize enough the benefits of fitness, but sometimes it's really hard to actually go out there and run or do an exercise. So, how do you motivate to stay active?
Yeah, absolutely. I think fitness, especially, is a very intimidating thing for a lot of people, that a lot of people don't quite understand or know what to do. And it can become a very vulnerable space. And then, especially when you combine it with a time like now with COVID-19 and quarantine, it can be really hard to find that motivation to get up off the couch and do anything. For me, fitness and physical activity actually never really came easy to me. It was something that I grew up an athlete. I had to go to conditioning practices and PE, and I hated it. And I was always a little bit overweight as a kid. And so, I just really, really struggled with it. And then my freshman year of college, I got into a bicycle accident, hurt my knee, and became injured. And not only did I lose my softball scholarship, but I lost that built-in time that I had kind of set aside every week, that I was kind of forced to go to these workouts and exercise. Um, and I found myself really missing that activity. But because of that injury, I started realizing all of the things that having an able body allowed me to do and empowered me to do that I kind of took for granted up to that point. And so my new thing became finding gratitude in having the ability to be active, because the ability to move and to challenge yourself and to become stronger is something that so many people so wish that they had the ability to do, that I think we don't realize we have until it's taken away. And so I kind of changed my mindset from I have to go exercise because I hate my body and I want to change it to I get to exercise because I love my body. I love I'm so grateful for all that it does for me. I want to be able to challenge and move and strengthen it. And, aside from studying kinesiology and studying all the benefits of exercise and whatever, I found that exercise for me has become my form of self-care, to show love for myself, to empower myself, to fortify myself. And it's become kind of like my me time and my stress relief, my community and my strength. And on days that I don't feel motivated to get out of bed, or when I'm down, or when I'm just really not feeling like I want to get up and moving, I find that motivation in knowing that exercise is an act of self love, not punishment to my body. I want to do the best that I can do for it.
That's incredible. It looks like we may have lost An's connection with Wi-Fi. She may be back shortly, but luckily she did send over some questions, so I'm going to keep asking you those questions in place of An until she joins us again. But the next thing is, so now that you've talked about getting motivated and staying motivated to get active, whether or not it's during COVID. I mean, sometimes motivation is just hard. What are some of the suggestions you have for types of ways to move? What are ways to get active during COVID-19?
I'm sorry, I lost that connection for a little bit. Can you say that one more time?
What are the ways that you suggest people get active during COVID-19? Now we know about staying motivated, but what are the types of movements that people can do?
What other types of activity can we do during COVID-19?
Yeah.
So, of course, it's really, really important to make sure that we are first and foremost complying with all forms of medical recommendations right now. It's really easy to list off this laundry list of things that we can do, but realistically, we first and foremost have to remember that if we are going to do anything outside or anything in a gym or any time that you're going to leave your house, please be sure to follow, all the recommendations: wearing a mask at all times, abiding by appropriate social distancing, avoiding crowds of people. Um, it's really, really hard that I found to wear a mask while you exercise just because you are breathing heavily, but it also means that everybody around you, if you choose to be in a group, is also breathing heavily, and that's not something we really want to risk ourselves doing. But if you have the access and the ability to get out and get moving, there's so many options that you can do to stay active without adding a whole lot of risk. So if you can get outside, you can walk, run, bicycle, hike in your favorite spot, go to your favorite place. If you're near the coast, you can go surfing, swimming, you can skate. And a lot of these can either be performed alone if you just, like I said, want to be safe, want to be quarantined, want to have your me time. But also, if you're quarantining with a family or a friend member, um, you can absolutely include them with it for the kind of the social benefits and have that connection with them. And plus, when you get outside, you get all of the benefits that the sunshine and the outdoors can do for your mental health as well. If you're somebody who's not in a position to comfortably or safely be outside or to go out and do different activities, inside things such as yoga, which we're going to do later today, even chair yoga, if you don't feel as strong or as limber to be able to do some of the full poses. Yoga is a lot harder than it sounds, just my personal anecdote. Um, you can do body weight circuits. You can do a stationary bike. You can dance in your living room and just turn on some music and have fun with it. You can do some light resistance workouts if you have any sort of like minimal equipment, like bands or small weights or something like that. And there are so many YouTube videos and so many programs out there that are so easy to follow, that you can do it from the comfort of your living room. And it's fantastic.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. During COVID-19, exercise is definitely essential, and there's actually also a lot of online programs like the mindfulness program, which also offers yoga lessons. And I cannot agree more that my exercise also depends on the mindset. Exercise is for a love of yourself and not a punishment. And definitely huge. And
I'm
so,
very sorry. I might have to come back because I can't hear a whole lot of what's going on. It's really broken up. But can you ask that one more time and see if it can come through? I don't know if it's my connection or what.
yeah, absolutely. So we learned about how to adapt during COVID-19 and why is active during COVID.
Let me see if I can leave and come back and see if it fixes this issue. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
All good. And while Sam fixes her connection on, I'd love to ask you a little bit. Tell us about Team Mindset Seed and what is your mission and why have you chosen to join us this year for Tour de Cure?
Of course. So Team Mindset Seed, it is a nonprofit that promotes a growth mindset in the youth. And because of having a growth mindset enables you to do try more opportunities. And to answer the question of why I got involved with diabetes in in general. So my family also has a connection with diabetes. My grandmother is affected by diabetes, and I grew up not really knowing a lot of that. So I always wanted to raise awareness. So in my freshman year, I performed a research project on diabetes, and I learned about the connection between the diabetes and the mindset. So having a growth mindset actually helps one's health, not only mentally but physically, because it enables you to, like Samantha said before, take exercise as a loving yourself act, not as like a punishment, like she said before. And so that's really why I absolutely adore the growth mindset as well as this association as well.
Absolutely. We're so grateful to have you here, and I know that we've all learned a lot from you and your teachings and your practice, and I know that your website has a lot of resources, and we've loved seeing you get active with yoga with your team and do fundraising that way. So it's really incorporating awareness of all the ways to manage diabetes as best as possible. Sam is back with us. Sam, how do we sound now? Are you able to hear us, Samantha?
I can hear it's just very broken up, but I will try my
Oh
best
no.
to figure out what we're doing. I'm so
I
sorry.
think Anna only has a couple other questions, so we'll try to get through those.
Yeah. So for our last question, how does physical activity benefit our health both physically and mentally?
Oh my goodness. Well, how much time do we have? No, it basically back to the roots of who we are as humans. We were quite literally born to move, right? The evolution of humanity into being bipedal or walking on two legs is because we were literally born to move. And in fetal development, when you look at how humans develop, the nervous system develops first as a way to establish a central command, and prepare the rest of your body for movement, both internally and externally. Meaning, your muscles are innovated to move your skeleton. All of your organs and your digestive tract and all of that stuff is also innervated to facilitate movement of waste and blood and oxygen and all of these wonderful things. And so that is one of our core foundations of being human, is that ability and that drive to move. And at its most basic level, our nervous system has what's called the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight, and the parasympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic being the kind of rest and digest. And these were designed to provide us responses to dangerous stressors, such as facing predators. Back when, humans were first, back in our, I want to say, caveman days, we had to be able to adjust to danger or be able to move and hunt and do all these different things. And through the course of history, we've done everything in our power to minimize and reduce the physical stressors that are placed on us, right? So we learned how to build a fire when we're cold. We learned how to build a shelter to protect us from the outside. And throughout humanity now, in the year 2020, we have all of these luxuries at our fingertips that can reduce any sort of physical stressor that we may have to adapt to. But in doing so, we've kind of exponentially increased our mental stressors. We've taken all of this stress out of survival and put it into the mental side, which is a fantastic thing for innovation and for humanity and for progressing us all. But it comes at a cost to our bodies and to who we are as humans and what we're meant to do. And enduring this sympathetic state, the fight or flight state, this is only meant to last couple of minutes max at a time, get you away from that lion that's chasing you and get you to safety. It's not meant to be a long-term thing. And during this state, our bodies release certain chemicals, that can alter nearly every aspect of our body. So for instance, cortisol is considered the stress hormone. So when you're very stressed or you're very anxious, you release a lot of cortisol. And since we're talking with the American Diabetes Association, it's important to mention this because cortisol essentially makes all of your cells insulin resistant. So the higher stress you are, the more anxiety you have, the more cortisol is being released, the less effective your medications might be, or the less effective your tissues might be at intaking that insulin and using it correctly. And because of the constant negative stressors that we face, our body kind of perpetually stays in this sympathetic state of fight or flight, but we're not built to be able to withstand that. We can't run on adrenaline, and we can't, our body is constantly looking for some sort of urgent threat that isn't there, but we're always on edge waiting to go. And so we've lost the ability to learn how to come back down into that parasympathetic state, that rest and digest phase, where our body is actually supposed to be most of the time and actually functions better. Now, physical activity in creating a new kind of stressor, right? So the field of exercise science and kinesiology is literally a science that's built upon creating new positive physical stressors. When we combine that with proper recovery, such as diaphragmatic breathing, meditation, mindfulness, sleep, good nutrition, etc., a few of those that we'll learn later today in the meditation and yoga portions. This can actually help reset our bodies, bring it out of that sympathetic state, and we reduce the risk or severity of nearly every non-genetic or congenital health condition out there. Adaptations with physical exercise and continued physical exercise includes lower blood pressure and heart rate, which can help reduce the risk of and or prevent stroke, heart attack. It can help with kidney, liver, pancreas, digestive, you name it, function. All of your organs in your body are very impacted by the blood pressure and the amount of exertion that the blood is putting on that system. And so it quite literally helps every single organ and muscle in your body. Additionally, it lowers your respiration rate. So how many breaths you take per minute. And when you lower your respiration rate, you have better carbon dioxide elimination, and carbon dioxide actually makes your blood in your body acidic. And so it brings your body back down to a more neutral or basic level, which is actually better. It helps with oxygen exchange within the lungs and better perfusion to your tissues. And oxygen is one of the main drivers of how we create energy within the cells. And so the more oxygen you can get to a tissue, the better it perfuses, the better that tissue actually functions. So this literally everybody's looking for the fountain of youth, and the fountain of youth is to move your body and get physical exercise. It also helps increase your metabolism. Including macronutrient processing, insulin sensitivity and usage, hormone regulation, neurochemical usage, etc. And then on top of it, all of the normal benefits that we think about, right? It makes your body stronger. It makes your body more capable of completing daily activities. It improves your balance, your strength. It can help prevent and slow the progression of osteoarthritis. It can help maintain your power and prevent falls in older adults and in the aging population. There's so much that it does for you physically that the list could go on forever. On the mental side, it does just as much, right? So exercise actually promotes better attentional capacity, meaning that you have the ability to stay focused for longer and include more things in your scope of attention. It improves your cognitive functioning, meaning that you feel a little sharper, you're not as foggy. You have the quick wit that you may have always had, or you're able to problem solve better. It improves your focus, your productivity. It uplifts your mood, right? Endorphins, we've all heard of that. And then on top of it, it helps you get better sleep at night. And I know that this is a huge issue, especially as anxiety, depression, et cetera, become a more prevalent issue in America, is being able to get to sleep and sleep through the night. And none of us end up waking up feeling well rested. And so when you improve your sleep at night, this is better recovery, so that the next day you have more energy and more productivity and better attention and all of these things in a cycle. And by creating positive stressors on the body, it helps relieve the negative stress and improve your overall mental health as well. So in the brain itself, exercise actually promotes neural growth and increased synapse formation and bridging. So basically, neurons are these cells that are within your brain. They're the cells that talk to each other to command your entire body. And so you get more cells, you get them to function better, which means that you have all of these extra benefits of just having a healthier brain, quite literally. It reduces the inflammation around your brain. It increases your neurotransmitter uptake and helps with the release of endorphins, right? We've all heard Legally Blonde, right? Exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people just don't shoot their husbands. It's true. But studies have actually shown that regularly exercising, 15 to 30 minutes of running, an hour of walking, dancing every day, just doing something to move your body for 30 minutes to an hour every day actually can treat mild to moderate depression and anxiety as well as medication. It can also reduce symptoms and risk of major depression and or mild to moderate depression becoming major depression by up to 26%, which is really, really huge. When you think about how stressful COVID-19 is in quarantine and how much more prevalent these mental health issues have become, reducing that by a quarter just by getting up and moving is significant. Right. And especially activities such as walking, running, cycling, stuff like that can actually promote better mindfulness and better focus, especially for those with anxiety or with anxious tendencies. It's even been suggested that physical activity can help reduce the risk of degenerative cognitive disorders such as dementia, and it can treat things like Parkinson's. Um, and just overall physical activity, and like I said, just getting your body moving, allowing it to do what it is meant to do. Movement is medicine. It can help promote a better sense of well-being and confidence and happiness on both a psychological, meaning you feel and you think better, and a physiological level, meaning your body is changing to become so much of a better tool for itself. Movement is medicine, and movement will help your body heal itself in nearly every realm. Maybe not to the extent that you'll be completely cured of all your ailments, but in a very, very significant way, that if we can create lifelong habits and be able to implement these just a little bit every day, we will be so much better off, both and mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. I cannot agree more. Exercising has both like mentally benefits like sleeping, and also helps make your body be better. And I'm like actually kind of surprised by the facts of the exercise. That's a good thing to know because it also acts as a motivation. So after learning it's and the fact of exercise, I would love to implement it. So here we have two Mindset Seed yoga instructors here to lead a yoga workout, also breathing exercises for everyone. So please welcome Elena and
Hi, my name is Alana Plager, and I will be your yoga instructor for today. We will be going through a series of low impact and beginner yoga poses and stretches. All you will need is a yoga mat and a distraction free environment. Okay, let's begin. We are going to start in what is known as mountain pose. So here, just continue standing on your mat with arms relaxed at your sides and feet about shoulder width apart. In this position, make sure all four corners of your feet are pressing into the ground, as we want to ensure we have a strong base. Make sure your knees are also slightly bent, as we do not want stiff muscles or joints during any of these exercises to reduce injuries and also to ensure we have total relaxation. To help relax the upper body and open our chest for breathing, do a few shoulder rolls, and also you can move your neck side to help relax your neck muscles. In this position, we just want to work on focusing on our breathing as well as working on our posture and elongating the spine. So as a precaution, make sure your tailbone is tucked under you, as we want to reduce the possibility of having lower back pain or future back problems. We're just going to continue in this easy pose for a couple more seconds and just breathe with nice long inhales and exhales. Feel free to even close your eyes during any of these exercises, as it is a great way to make sure you have total body awareness and mind relaxation. Now we will move onto our mats and go onto our hands and knees into what is known as child's pose, where we're gonna push forward, reaching our heels and backside together, and inch our fingertips out as far forward as possible. You should feel a slight stretch in your hips and thighs, as well as another elongation of the spine. While here, you may relax your forehead onto your mat and continue inching those fingers forward. Also, continue breathing with nice long inhales and exhales, and feel free to close your eyes in this position as well. It is definitely okay if your heels and backside do not totally touch. Just make sure you feel a nice stretch while in this position. Okay, as we move into our next position, we're going to move back into a tabletop, hands and knees position. From here, we're going to do what is known as the cat-cow position as we alternate between arching and curving our back. This pose allows for compound stretching as it targets all of the above, including the hips, abdomen, spine, neck, and back. In this position, we are also opening the chest again as we are trying to work on our breathing patterns. As you go into the arch position, exhale, and as you move into the curved position, inhale. This will allow you to keep an even pace in your breathing. We're going to move through these alternating movements a couple more times. Another important thing is to make sure your hips are level during this exercise. Okay, from here, we are going to go into a well-known position called downward facing dog. To move into this position, push your hands and feet away from each other, creating a V shape with the body, as so. Once you reach this position, try to make sure the four corners of your feet are pressing into the ground as well as having even pressure into your hands. You should feel a nice stretch in the calves. To increase the stretch, we're gonna bend and straighten, alternating between each leg. In this position, make sure your neck and spine are totally relaxed as they hang down between your arms. We're gonna alternate with the bending and straightening of our legs a couple more times as we continue to focus on our breathing again in the elongation of our spine. Again, this stretch is great for our breathing as it helps to open our chest. From here, we're gonna inch our hands and feet together and we're gonna move into a hamstring stretch. There's 3 modifications. For those who are more flexible, feel free to grab behind your calves and inch your face into your knees. For those who are less flexible, feel free to bend both legs and push your palms into the floor and allow your neck and head to relax down. For those who want a stretch that hits the hamstrings as well as your back, open up your legs to create a bigger base and hold your elbows together and allow your head to relax between and allow everything to just hang down. You can also sway back and forth if you find this to be more relaxing. Okay. From here, we're going to move back down onto our mat for for a few more stretches. We're going to lay flat on our backs for this next stretch, which I like to call leg hugs. In this stretch, we're going to take one of our legs and pull it to our chest and grab our hands right below our knees and push in. In this position, as we exhale, we're going to point our toe, and as we inhale, we're going to flex the foot. This will allow us to keep with an even paced breathing. In this position, try to make sure your hips are flat on the ground, as well as your back is flat on the ground, as we do not want to have any excess arching, because this can lead to back problems. You can even close your eyes again during this stretch if you feel that is more comfortable. Okay, we're going to do the same thing now with our other foot. And again, make sure your hips are nice and straight and your back is facing and your back is flat against the floor. Again, as we breathe out, we want to point the toe, and as we breathe in, we want to flex it. As you can see, a common theme throughout this yoga session is opening up the chest and focusing on our breathing. Okay, now we're going to take both of our legs and basically give ourselves a big hug, squeezing as tight as possible. To increase the stretch, you can even roll your shoulders off the ground and relax your chin onto your knees in this position. Continue taking nice long inhales and exhales. Okay. Now we are going to continue staying on our back and doing what is known as the figure four stretch. We're going to take one of our legs and bend it at a 90-degree angle, as well as take our other foot and rest its ankle against the foot that's at 90 degrees is knee. We're going to grab under the hamstring of the foot that's at 90 degrees. This is a great stretch for hip flexibility, and you will probably feel a nice stretch in your groin area. To increase the stretch, you can push your foot closer towards your body. Also, try and keep your feet flexed in this position, as it will help protect your knees. Again, feel free to close your eyes as you continue in this stretch. We're just going to hold this stretch for a couple more seconds. Let's do about 10 more seconds before we alternate to our next foot. To doing the same thing with our other foot. Okay, now we are going to take our opposite foot and make that one bend at a 90-degree angle and rest our other ankle against that foot's knee and grab under our leg again and push towards our body with feet In this position, again, we want to make sure our back is flat against the ground and our hips are completely facing forward. Feel free to close your eyes and just focus on your breathing here again. It's always great to do these stretches in the morning before you start your day, just to help relax your muscles and joints. Okay, now for our last pose. It's simply known as the corpse pose. You're just going to lay flat with your feet straight out and your arms at your sides with your back flat against the ground. And you can wiggle any body parts. Just allow yourself to get comfortable in this position. And in this position, all I want you to do is close your eyes and breathe. Take nice, long, deep breaths. And just allow your mind to relax. As you hold this position, I'm going to hand it over to Jay to start the meditation portion of this class. You can either continue in this position or find a new and comfortable position.
And I'm your meditation instructor for today. Sam talked about how important it is to breathe. It neutralizes our body from the acidity in our blood levels. So let's all find a comfortable position and a comfortable, quiet place. So for this, I chose my bedroom, and I'm using a mat, so I'm nice and comfortable on the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit crisscross.
Just jumping in, Jade, we can't hear you.
Oh.
I want to make sure that everyone can enjoy this meditation portion and hear your voice.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-mm.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? No?
Oh no. Looks like we're having some audio issues. I'm going to invite An back in. Hi, An.
Yeah. So thank you, Alana, for the yoga session. I am just going to go ahead and lead the meditation portion.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. So, like Jade said, please find a comfortable position in your room, in your bedroom, any places like that, and just find a comfortable posture. To maybe laying down or just sitting down. And here, you can remain in the last Lana's position is the corpse. You can remain in that position. And keep your back upright, but not too tight. Hands resting where they're comfortable and your tongue on the roof of your mouth or wherever it is most comfortable. I'm just going to stay up here to lead the meditation portion most successfully. So the most basic way to do meditation breathing is simply to focus your attention on your breath, the inhale and the exhale. Your eyes may be opened or closed, but you may find it easier to maintain your focus if you close your eyes. You can do this meditation mindfulness when you wake up, before you start your day, or at night to help you when feeling stressed or anxious. Let's start by taking a breath. A deep inhale through your nose for 3 seconds. Hold your breath for 2 seconds and do a long exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds. Let's continue to breathe in and out and simply observe each breath without trying to adjust it. It may help to focus on the rise and fall of your chest, or your breath circulating in and out of your body. Feel the natural flow of the breath in and out. Notice where you feel your breath in your body, in your abdomen, your chest, your throat, and or your nose. As we do this, you may find that your mind wanders, distracted by thoughts or bodily sensations. That's okay. If it happens, it's natural. Just notice that this is happening and gently bring your attention back to your breath. If a thought pops up into your head, touch it, let it go, continue to breathe in and out. Try again to notice the shape of your body, its weight, its posture, the ground. How is it feeling? Rough, smooth? Let yourself relax and become curious about your body seated here. The sensations it experiences, the touch, the connection with the floor or the chair. Relax any areas of tightness or tension. Just breathe. Breathe in for 3 seconds and exhale for 3 seconds. Do this repeatedly. Try not to alter your breath, but just to be in the moment and feel your tension and tightness go away. Today will be a great day. Let all the worries, anxiety, or stress go to waste. Now relax for the next 10 seconds. Start to wiggle your fingers, your toes, wake your body up. Begin to open your eyes slowly, not to disturb the relaxation. Let yourself relax even more deeply, and then offer yourself some appreciation for doing this practice today. Set your intention for the rest of the day, a goal you want to accomplish before the day is over. Take one last breath in and out. Thank you so much for doing this exercise with us. I hope you feel calm, relaxed, and not as stressful as before. This practice, like I said before, can be done in the morning, at night, or anytime you feel anxious. So here we have the end of the session with MindsetSeed team. Thank you so much for joining with us, and you can visit the ADA website, diabetes.org, for more resources on the benefits of fitness, or you can also visit MindsetSeed's website /diabetes for more diabetes awareness information, statistics, and we also have multiple blogs on the benefits of a growth mindset on one's health. So thank you so much again to Samantha for leading the fitness Q&A. We've definitely learned a lot from how to stay motivated, the benefits of fitness. And thank you to Alana for the yoga workout. I definitely feel much better, and it's great to implement it after we've learned all the facts. And thank you to Jade for leading the meditation exercise despite some technical issues. And thank you to James and Roman for making this happen.